Well, even with little disagreements or incidents, time would always bring us back together.
Well, except that one time.
What time? I don't remember any time. I didn't want anyone to really see that I was doing it for you.
One.
Tap tap. Hello, hello. Recording start. I'm Monica Fung and I'm your host today. I'm here to bring you the diverse people of the world and their experiences. Welcome to episode 29 of Exploring the Outside, where we have astonishing guests with us today, Aristotle Mendoza.
Hello, I'm Aristotle, but you can just call me Ari.
And another astonishing guest, Dante Quintana.
Yes, that's me. I'm the one and only Dante Quintana.
These are the authors of the novel Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Check out their links to social down below, and let's hear what they have to say today. So, please tell me about yourself and your background, if you're comfortable, of course. What was your childhood like? Did that impact you to be who you are today?
Well, to answer that question, I love literature, and I was raised in a Mexican-American family household, but to me, it was mostly American. I have a great dynamic with my family. They cared about me, and I cared about them. I was close to my dad and mom, a bit closer to my dad though, because he let me get away with stuff. And my mom mostly scolded me. My parents were very in love, and I aspired to love like them.
What about you?
Well, I also grew up in a Mexican-American household and pretty much alone. I had a dad, but he was never there, and I get it. He's been through a lot with the Vietnam War, so I don't blame him. But as a little child, not having a father figure in my life took a detrimental toll on me. My mom, we talked more, and I was way closer to her than with my dad. I had two siblings who were older than me, but they treated me like a child. I also had a brother, but we weren't that close because he went to jail and we never really got to know each other. No one would tell me about what happened to my brother Bernardo. I was lost, confused, and I didn't know what love and affection were because I never received that as a child. It was so hard for me to express my feelings, let alone speak to others. Today, I still find it hard to talk to strangers and make friends, and I care about what others think of me.
Did family matter a lot to you guys?
Yes, family meant the world to me. I love my parents, and I was treated really nicely.
Aww.
As much as I felt disconnected from my Mexican household, I tried ways to include more aspects of Mexican culture. Like they usually use nicknames for people that they love, so I made one for Ari. I called him.
Moving on to the question. I guess family did mean something to me, but I couldn't understand my feelings about it. My family did not want to matter to me, but I wanted so badly for them to change. Bernardo was in prison, and I knew nothing of why he was in it. My father would stay quiet and never interact with me, being a shadow in the family. My siblings treated me like a kid and didn't talk to me. I thought the only family was my mother, but she kept secrets from me too. At that point, I think I lost a lot of motivation to keep trying. Even when I found a letter that could explain everything to me, what would that do? It would give me a sense of closure that would confirm the worst for me. My family would never change. So I never opened it, and surprisingly, life got better.
What was your experience with trauma and what was your response to it? Did you ever feel yourself being silent because of it?
I guess I'll start. I guess my trauma came from my childhood. I was never really close with my dad, but ironically enough, I took after him for being silent. As I grew older, I found out that my dad fought in the Vietnam War, so I understood why he acted the way he did now. But as a child, I never wanted to open up to anyone because I was scared of getting hurt or rejected. Not being able to share my feelings verbally, I had a journal that I was able to use to freely express myself.
I'm so glad you were able to let your emotions out through journaling. I didn't have a hard time expressing myself. I felt like I was able to open up pretty well, but that came with consequences because I came out of the closet about being gay, and I got a lot of hate from people that I trusted, and that made me feel so ashamed. This was in the midst of where gay rights were more and more acceptable. AIDS were also a very heated topic. I felt like I didn't fit in and that being gay was so wrong. I mostly felt guilty because gay marriage was illegal. I know my parents are going to support me no matter what, but I wasn't able to give them grandchildren. I think today, if I came out, there would still be hate, but to know that people openly support us now helps.
Yeah, I wish it was like this back then as well. It would have saved our marriage a lot of trouble and pain.
Aw, what a lovely couple. Were you guys able to communicate with each other well throughout your friendship and relationship?
I would say that we got along pretty well, even with little disagreements or incidents. Time would always bring us back together.
Well, except that one time.
What time? I don't remember any time.
The time you saved my life. Did you forget?
Oh my gosh, I remember reading about that, where you saved Dante from the car accident. Wasn't there a rule not to talk about it?
Yeah, fair enough. I guess our relationship wasn't all bright. I had disagreements with Dante. After I saved him from the car accident, I blamed him for the situation to hide my feelings for him. I didn't want anyone to really see that I was doing it for you.
I already knew that you liked me, but I just wanted to take a shot of us being closer. I'm so glad that you felt the same way.
Thanks, Dante.
Aw. Was it hard to open up about your sexuality, make your identity, or question your masculinity?
I opened up freely, but there were consequences. People bashed me. I was bullied for being gay, even beaten up. I knew I liked boys, but that was like how it was. I kissed a girl, but didn't imagine kissing her. I imagined kissing Ari. I was able to create my identity that way, and that helped Ari create his. For my masculinity, I did question it a lot.
Yeah, my friendship with Dante suffered because of this. I tried to push Dante away because I was attracted to him. I didn't know what that feeling was. It took a lot of effort to create the identity I have now with Dante and to be open about who I am as a person. Connecting that, my masculinity was maybe what made me deny these feelings of sexuality too.
How has culture shaped your life? Was it a major or minor part of defining your identity?
Growing up, I felt very disconnected from my culture because I couldn't even speak Spanish that well. No bueno. And I just felt like I didn't fit in. The culture was very minor and my family didn't try to enforce it either, so I drifted away from it.
I relate to Dante because that's also exactly how I felt. The language barrier and lack of culture always made me feel distant from my family and where I came from. I had no reason to know culture when I knew so little about it, but I felt obligated to for my family.
Okay, now next. How was school for you guys?
I went to religious school. The only thing I remembered was hanging out with this guy whom I met at a drugstore. That was when Aristotle was in Tustin. It was nothing though.
I went to school and I was just there. I mean that by how I didn't understand the thrill of having friends or going to parties. It was worse that I went to an American school. It divided me even more from my culture because I was then exposed to American culture and it separated me from my original.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thanks to Aristotle and Dante for joining us today during that lively discussion of these serious topics. We hope that the talk was beneficial to you. As always, thanks for listening to Exploring the Outside. If you enjoy our show, please rate and review us on Data Boys Jamboy. And be sure to come back next week for the discussion of women's rights. Until then, this is your favorite interviewer, Monica, and don't forget, catch the wind to hear the noise.
This video is brought to you by... Wait, that doesn't seem right. Just give me a second. There we go. Grammarly is meant to make your writing worse to know why you're writing so good. When writing badly, it'll immediately notify you and define the work is horrible. But if you're writing the work well, it can help find what mistakes you're making by making them worse for you to never notice. Grammarly is extremely popular with kindergartners, as 5 out of 30 of them recommend the product for everyone to use. Use code PAINFUL for 1% off your next Grammarly order.